halfway, super excited by this project, and I'm actually super excited by today because I have a very special guest. If you follow some of my adventures around the internet, you might be familiar with the minister herself, my bestie and podcast partner, Car.
Hi. Did you just say that I'm in charge here?
That's kind of how we started. So people who read my blog might
Yes.
see me refer to the minister. I referred to you as that in a blog post, and then I messaged you going, I have the perfect name for our podcast.
I do recall now. Actually, I don't. The memory's still bad.
To be fair, it was a while ago.
Lovely to be here with you today.
Very excited, and I feel very blessed. This is actually, I believe, your very first YouTube appearance.
Yeah, no, first time on YouTube. I'm technically challenged. Glad to be here today and chatting with your pretty face. And then we got some fun stuff lined up, haven't we?
We do. It's super fun. I'm so excited. So for those who are unfamiliar, Car and I have a podcast called the Ministry of Crafty Shenanigans, which was 4 seasons. It's currently in hiatus. We jump on a call every Friday and share our thoughts on creativity, community, connection, and collaboration. And we spoke a lot about our creative processes, how they overlap, how they vary, how we use creativity to connect with each other, with the wider community. It was lots of fun. So I will link that in the comments below. And right now we are in the middle of a project for our podcast community. So Car, tell me, make it merry. What's going on with our podcast? What are we doing for Advent with our podcast community this year?
We are doing one Advent with 24 prompts. Was it 24 or 25?
24.
24, wasn't it? Okay, 24 prompts. And they're nice, easy, gentle prompts just to get into the merriment of the season. And we like a good, what's the word when you get 3? Allegory? Is that the right one?
Alliteration.
Yeah, that's the one. I knew it started with A. This is why I bring her along. She's the brains. Technically, I'm just the shenanigans. You bring me along just for the fun of it.
There is a reason you're the minister. You're the minister for shenanigans.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. I create all the crazy stuff, usually in a journal. But anyone who's been listening to us long enough or following the Instagram knows that I'm a journal tragic. And I will forever be a journal tragic, which I've actually bought my journal today. Yay!
So Cara and I have been friends online for a long time now, and we are somewhat famous in our circles for dropping the C word. Challenges. We don't do it quite so much anymore, but once upon a time, we even had a hashtag, didn't we? Cara and Rachel's Long Weekend Adventures. If there was a long weekend, there would be a challenge. If there was something fun happening, there would be a challenge. If we were bored and needed something to do, there'd be a challenge. We found a cool pattern, challenge. It didn't take much, did it?
No, it didn't. Advents, though, struggling to keep up a little bit because I have signed up to a couple and I haven't checked in to about 3 of them because I've been doing a actual Christmas class on the side. But how many Advents did you sign up to this year?
Next question. So,
okay, higher than 10?
16 prompt lists or projects or Advent shenanigans on my list. Slightly ridiculous.
It's not bad. Not bad. If you go to Instagram, I've just posted today, and you'll actually see a page of one of my recent Advents that I'm doing in my journal, and I'm tracking. I have an ink vent and a retro pop. So each day I try to swatch the ink vent and draw the retro pop, which has been quite a lot of fun, except for yesterday's little weird man.
It was an interesting
Never
one.
Heard of him before.
So one of those 16 obviously is Make It Merry for our podcast community, which has grown out of our Easter bingo, which was always really fun. You and I did that together one year, just the 2 of us, and then we started podcasting. We're like, why don't we invite everyone to come join us? And we did, and that was really fun too. But we didn't do it this year because we were ready for something a little bit different. We've done it for a few years in a row. And if there's one thing we like more than challenges, it's something different. So we did something different for Easter this year. And so we wanted to kind of capture that spirit of creativity bingo that we did over Easter. We wanted to bring some magic into the Advent season. And so we've come up with Make It Merry. And today's Make It Merry is craft along with us, which is really exciting. But before we get stuck into the crafting, how about we do a little recap? We are day 16.
Yes, and what craft were we going to do along? Another challenge.
I'm being called out again. This is a challenge that Car set. Well, no. Car did not set the challenge. Car found the project. I'm like, I'm in. So we were going to do diamond dots for our video, weren't we? Have you got yours there?
We were.
Should we show everyone our diamond dots?
No, I can't show anybody because mine isn't finished.
Dum-ba-da-bum.
But somebody has a finish.
I have a finish. I got to the point where I knew that I needed to power through to get it done, or I would not get it done because I can see why people would find it fabulous, but my brain just, no. So I just wanted to get it done. So it's super cute. So Car found these for us.
Yeah, I ended up with 3 boxes. So I posted it down to our enabler, our chief enabler,
yes,
and our bookkeeper. She keeps track of all our books. Rach and I started ours last week and we happened to mention it to our little enabler friend. Mm-hmm. And then suddenly, guess who didn't finish first?
I was the first loser. So I didn't completely lose. I was the first loser. So, I'll take that as a first.
I will get mine finished.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you will.
But I like to take my time on it. So I might do some this afternoon with my coffee.
At least now I can say that I've tried it. Instead of just saying I'm not really into diamond dots, I can say I've tried diamond dots and it's just not for me.
There was a few times there where we were actually searching for crafts that we hadn't actually done before. We did try to do a lot of those.
When it comes to crafts we haven't tried, there's not a lot there, is there?
A lot. So what else have you been keeping yourself amused with? Reading?
I have been reading. So this is another challenge that you and I do most years, isn't it?
It is.
I've actually finished 2. So I've finished Everyone this Christmas has a secret. Set up an advent calendar, and it's even got little clues at the end of each chapter. Set up an advent calendar, and then right at the end it actually has an advent calendar type setup so that you can see all the clues. So there's a clue per chapter. So that was a really fun read.
Interesting.
I have just started Jenny Coughlin's The Christmas Book Hunt. So I started it yesterday afternoon and I am already 30% through it, which, I'll call that a win. How about you? Are you having any luck with your Christmas reading plan?
I finished one by Sarah Morgan. I think anything to do with snow and the Northern Lights and hot chocolate. Got to be Christmassy. So I have high hopes for this one.
Excellent.
The last one I read was same author, can't remember which one it was, The Christmas Book Club. I am reading another, I can't think of who it is, but I think it was something about the Christmas at the Writer's Retreat. Potentially, I think I picked it up for 99 cents on Kindle. That's my reading for the moment.
Now, I know that you're a journal lover, and we do have one kind of journalish, it's not a group project, but it's a project in common.
Oh, the gnomes.
A watercolour gnome class. This is by Jen Bax. I will link it in the comments. So this is class 1 and class 2. It was 4 classes. And so my theory was to do 1 a day, but I think I'm just going to power through and finish it this afternoon because I'm having so much fun making these little gnomes.
I haven't done the second one yet.
So yours looks much more gnomish and wizardy than mine. Mine just looks...
No...
He's a little fat dude.
I wasn't actually happy with him, but then also I just wanted something simple on that particular day.
Yes.
I will, if I can, show you one other page. I am doing a Christmas class with Tangi. It is fun. So I have done an elf on the shelf. So it's a lot like what Tangi was teaching us. I added a little curl in the middle of his forehead to go like that rhyme. But then I had an idea. The reason that it's got the red sky at the top is that one of the other classes was a cutout snowman, okay? It was really, really cool. So then on the back of the snowman, I was like, I don't know what to do. So I was going through it all and I was working it out. I don't know if you can read what I've written there. Gnome in the dome. So this is just one that I was sketching out the other day and I went, okay, so we're going to have Elf on the Shelf with the book that I read this month. So whatever books, I'm going to line them up on the bookshelf. And then I'm going to have a gnome on the dome over on this side. So I've been having a lot of fun with this interactive journal that I made. And I made it for this December.
When we did our podcast and when we were very much in the first planning of it and what we wanted it to be and what we wanted it to be like, is something that I think we've always really focused in on, is that we wanted it to feel like we were just sitting around the craft table, working on a project, having a conversation. And so we thought it would be fun today to not just record a podcast, but to bring you guys into our craft room and share what we're working on, and you can craft along with us. So tell me, Car, what are you working on today?
Yes. I'm going to attempt a art piece. One of the prompts that is upcoming, we were talking about doing.
Yes.
But I don't, well, this will actually be giving it away, but who knows, it might not work out just yet. At least with the diamond dots, when I was doing those, I only had to put the dot in place.
Yep.
And hope for the best. This might be a little bit different because I'm not used to drawing on camera at all. So yeah, I thought, keeping in the theme of things, I'm going to do something with the MOCS theme, with some blobs, and see how far I get. I don't know. I've got a list of Christmas words. Hopefully you can't see that one because it's got a weird looking little face on there. It's my on-the-go journal. I have these little on-the-go journals all the time. So what are you going to be working on?
So today I'm going to work on my cross stitch. I designed my own cross stitch this year and then kind of like promptly forgot about it and signed up for another stitchery as well. Before I remembered I had that, I signed up for this little tree a day advent stitchery, which is super cute, and we're doing with the bookkeeper. She's doing it as well. But it's nice to be back, like sharing projects. I think for me, they work really well because it gives me some, I don't want to say accountability, but it does kind of, like, if someone else is up to XYZ, but it kind of is like a benchmark of progress. It's helpful and motivating, and not just because it's a race.
Yeah, true. Oh, this is interesting. I've never drawn and talked much before.
Oh, haven't you?
No.
So don't you draw at quilt camp?
Do I draw it?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
No, because the enabler usually takes my journals.
So when we're at quilt camp, like we tend not to do joint projects so much there anymore, do we? I don't know that we ever really did, to be honest.
There was one year that you guys were all doing the vintage modern, or you all had the fabric for it. I remember that. But I think it wasn't until later on that we've sort of started to do joint projects, which I believe 2019, we decided there was a flurry of phone calls between us all. We decided that we would do a stitchery for the weekend. 4 of us got on board that one. How many of us actually did it?
On the weekend or in total?
In total.
I finished mine.
So I took the fabric and the variegated threads and I started stitching circles. And I didn't finish it.
You know, COVID happened, obviously, and camp has been on hiatus ever since. And suddenly we've had this real resurgence of group projects, haven't we?
We have, actually. There's been a lot.
So really, I mean, quilt camp was much more like, it was a bit like toddlers and parallel play, wasn't it? Like we'd do our own thing alongside each other. And so I wonder if it's something to do with that connection that we're missing from quilt camp. We can't be together, but we can work on similar projects and find that connection in that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, do you know what project I was thinking of the other day that I reckon we should do again? Stream of consciousness journals, just for the long weekend.
Yes, no, I'm definitely keen to do that again. Although I am a little overloaded with journals for the new year, surprising precisely nobody. No, but I have finished a lot this year.
You have. You've been very productive. I feel like there's a whole conversation we need to have about productivity as a creator. Like not as in a content creator, but as in a maker, a creative person.
I think so. That would be a really good... We have touched on it before.
Yes.
But not fully.
Okay.
But
Can you add it to the MOCS journal?
Let's
talk a little bit about the podcasting that we've done with other people.
Yes, podcasts. I have been on 2, which is actually just one. And one was a group one.
Yep.
And it was a conversation with the host and 2 other artists. And I actually felt very like I was not an artist at all. It's really funny because I have this real thing about I don't feel like I'm an artist. But I art every day, so therefore I must be. And it was a lovely conversation. We had a really good conversation about it. And that was the Art Supply Posse. I don't know if we've actually said that yet.
I don't know that we have.
But I had a one-on-one conversation with Kim, and it was good. You can find that on the Art Supply Posse. And I believe you were also featured way before me, because you're the one that connected me to the podcast in the first place.
Yes. So I did a guest episode on the Art Supply Posse talking about being a multi-directional maker, being a blogger, or being a podcaster, all kinds of different creative stuff. So that was really fun. And then I was also interviewed by Anjali for the blogging room, all about blogging and sharing some thoughts on what I've learned over the last 16 years, which is kind of crazy, last 16 years as a blogger. And it was really fun, both experiences. And I think it really brought home to me how much I'd grown in confidence and in everything, really, since we started podcasting ourselves.
Were you a public speaker?
No.
Like, did you do debating at school?
Kind of not really. I found it really nerve-wracking. But, like,
yeah,
I did, like, the Rotary public speaking comps and stuff.
Well, I didn't even like school projects, getting up and having to present in front of the class.
See, funnily, I hated that. Okay, this is really interesting. So I hated that. Like the talking in front of the class thing, absolutely hated it. Rotary public speaking, I was nervous but okay about it. But then, so fast forward now to today. Okay, podcasting doesn't worry me now. YouTubing, obviously, I'm on YouTube every day this month. But if someone in real life mentions that they listen to my podcast or they've seen my YouTube or anything like that, I suddenly get this amazing attack of the nerves, and it's really uncomfortable for me personally when I realize people in real life are listening or reading or whatever, and I feel like it adds a layer of self-consciousness. And I feel like now, as I'm saying this, I can see that parallel between speaking in class and hating it because they're my classmates and my peers versus standing up in front of Rotary, kind of strangers, but kind of not because it's a small town. And that didn't worry me as much. So I feel like there's something very interesting there to unpack, possibly in therapy by the sounds of it.
You want me to hook you up with someone?
Yeah, that'd be great. Can I just skip the therapy part and go to the whole mindful art journaling, paints are cheaper than therapy thing?
Mindful art journaling. Shall I remind you about your mindful diamond dotting?
Yeah, diamond dotting is not mindful. It's boring.
I like it. But then I like my silence.
Yes, and I can't do.
See, this is really good because I've got complete silence in the house at the moment, so I'm just
aside from me yapping at
you in my ears. Well, you know, you're just in the ears there, chatting away.
You've learnt to tune me out over the years.
What was that?
You've learnt to tune me out a bit over the years.
What?
Huh?
Fun and games.
Games. You're hilarious. One project that comes to mind that we both do, but it doesn't also feel like a joint or common project, is one little word.
Oh, yes. A few years ago, I used to have, I don't know if you ever did them, the workbooks. There was a few different people that would offer workbooks, either paid or free. And I've always jumped into the workbooks, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. And I always find them quite good. And then 2020 broke me.
Yep.
I did the workbook. I set up the workbook for 2021 and I didn't fill it out. I was like, no, can't do it. So I actually, the other day, this does tie into my word of the year, because one of the ladies that offers the workbooks is Susanna Conway, and it's free if you sign up to her emails. I take her prompts and I actually put them into a journal, obviously, because
it's you. Of course you do.
Plus also printing it out. Sometimes I find if I print it out on plain paper, it's not the right paper.
It's very important to have the right paper.
Exactly, but she does a find your word, like a little mini activity.
Yep.
With a whole list of words that you can jump off from and work through. So I'm jumping on board with that again today. next year. Still haven't come up with a word, but that usually helps me get to my word, and it will set some goals in place for the new year, because next year I have a whole new schedule.
You do.
I'm no longer. I was christening myself Moober. Mum Uber.
Yes.
But my daughter got a license and my daughter's finished school, and I'm no longer needed in that respect. So I'm actually saving myself about 40 minutes a day, up to an hour a day, if not more.
So does that mean we're going to have morning art dates on Zoom?
Oh, sure.
Cool. So do you have your word for 2025 yet or not?
Negative.
Negative ghostwriter?
I was thinking about embrace, but I had a feeling you had that one a few years ago, didn't you?
I did. But I mean, you could, just because I've used embrace doesn't mean that you can't.
Yeah, but you know me, I've got to question every single aspect of the word.
I thought I was an overthinker until I met Car trying to pick her word for the year.
I only overthink things when I'm stressed. Guess what I've been doing today?
Stressing?
Stressing. A little bit. Broken flag.
We did this a few times, didn't we, when our podcast was on hiatus? We're just like, we haven't chatted this week. Do you want to jump on a call and make some art?
We did, didn't we?
That was always fun.
They were the good old days. Listen to us.
Yes.
I'm making a gingerbread house apparently this afternoon.
Oh, are you? My kids are doing gingerbread on Saturday. I've booked them in for a class.
Oh no, I'm doing it. I'm not a designer by any means. So it could be terrible.
I'm sure it'll be fabulous.
Oh, I don't know. You haven't seen my art piece yet. It's pretty. I've done it once before.
Yep.
And it fell apart.
Oh dear.
So we don't have high hopes.
So one last question. Do you find when we're busy in a time like this, do you craft more or do you craft less when life is really busy like it tends to be in Christmas, like in Advent, in the lead up to Christmas?
So that's a tricky question. Which is why I'm going back to revisiting goals and stuff for next year, because I feel like I've not, the last 2 years at least, I haven't been on a trajectory where I've been signing up to a lot of things. I do a lot of things, but I don't seem to be able to see progress, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So, for example, but in saying that, so I've got the journal for this year. I think I put in something like 48 pages, thinking, I don't even know if I'll get through it all, and I'm on track, I'm halfway through it. So I am producing a lot, but I think it's not always suitable for public consumption. And really, if you look at what I'm doing here, you'd understand why. Because I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just having fun and not caring.
Maybe
I'll even start a YouTube one day.
Maybe. I did an art journal page as one of my videos yesterday, the day before maybe. And 90% of it's like, I'm just winging it. I've got no idea what I'm doing right now. Let's see what happens if I do this. So how's your page going? Are you close to finish, or are you going to keep picking at it after we jump off?
I will have to keep picking at it after we jump off, because my vision is coming to light.
Excellent. So you'll have to be sure to show it on Instagram so we can see the finished piece.
I have a plan for it.
But yes, you have a plan.
I will. Maybe.
I like plans.
We'll see how it goes.
Plans are fabulous. It feels like it's been far too long since we've done this.
It has. Sorry, I thought you were talking to the people, but you were only hanging out with them yesterday. Yes, no, it's been far, far too long.
It has. It's been nice to be back in this space, crafting with you, chatting with you. I hope everyone has enjoyed this very special episode of Vlogmas meets Ministry of Crafty Shenanigans. And that was day 16 for Make It Merry. You can find out more about our podcast on our website, ministryofcraftyshenanigans.com. And most of the action happens over on Instagram at Ministry of Crafty Shenanigans. I will drop that below, plus all of Car's details. It's been super fun. We started this call with Car asking how long would it take. And I said, I feel like it will take half an hour, but we've never had a session less than an hour. And we've been recording for 1 hour and 13 minutes. The entire episode will be shorter than that. But yeah, it's been fun because we get chatting, we get crafting. And so we hope that you have enjoyed joining us in our virtual craft room today. Keep an eye out for 2025 and more shenanigans. And we'd also love to see you over on Instagram to join. Make it merry. I have a new set of prompts ready to drop this afternoon, or the full list is on that website. And I will be back tomorrow for day 17, which will actually be another Make It Merry prompt. Just about ready to go. It's a bit of a DIY tutorial. So I look forward to sharing that with you. For a sneak peek, check out our Instagram.